Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Viva Cafe con Leche. I am Lori Monaco, the badass Buddha. Good morning, Thursday morning. It's sunny here in Southern Connecticut. I am your authenticity teacher and coach and speaker specializing in transformation and mindfulness practice. I have this whole new thing that I say, and of course, I just messed it all up.
Okay, take a breath.
I am.
Now start
An
again.
Elevator pitch for my networking stuff. So I am the creator of the 7 core pillars of alignment. I am, and Transformation University, which is going to be going online in the spring. I am your fat eviction specialist, and I am here today. Good morning on Viva Cafe con Leche.
Oh, wow. That was wonderful. I learned something new about you during every show.
Well, I'm the same way with you. Oh, look.
Like, that's divine. Like, I'm like, who the hell am I talking to this show? That's good. That's good. The pitch sounded very good. You just got to stop hesitating. I guess, how many times have you said it?
No, I just started. I just did it like in the last couple of days.
I'm drinking my coffee. Hold on. That sounded great. I love the 7 pillars. Where'd you come up with that? That is awesome. 7 pillars. I love stories that have pillars in them.
Because it takes, you have to align yourself with 7 core pieces, 7 core pillars. I didn't even say it right. 7 core pillars. Maybe I did. I don't remember.
The 7 chakras. The 7 chakras.
To align yourself. Oh my God. And I never realized that it follows the 7 chakras, but it's 7 pieces of you align them, you will have fulfillment in your life, and you will be if you align with your authentic self, you'll be golden. We'll talk about that another time.
Well,
I'm very
proud. I am La Margarita. I am Mother Moon's favorite child. I am magically orgasmic. I am your spiritual and creative healing life coach. I am your gladiator guru. Welcome this beautiful Thursday morning. It was fucking cold here in Tampa. I woke up to 45 degrees and I didn't turn the heat on last night. And I was cold. Like the blanket kept like trying to hold me hostage. And I'm like, no, I got to get up. So here I am. Got in the shower, got warmed up real quick. But yeah, here we are in Tampa, and it's a beautiful morning. I'll sing it next time.
It has been unseasonably cold where you are, right? It's not usually that cold overnight.
For this long. It does have its spurts. Like in February, March, it would get cold for like a week. Sometimes in November, very few, the whole 14 years I've been here, it hasn't been a consistent cold. Christmas and Thanksgiving and Christmas have always been issues for me because it's been 80 degrees in most of my experience, but it has been cold. The day after Christmas, it was 37 degrees here. And it hasn't been any higher than 68 maybe. And it's been as low as 30 something. So it's been cold for longer periods, more consistent, like 3 or 4 weeks consecutive, as opposed to in the past, it's been like cold for a week and then a month will go by and it'll be cold for a couple days. And yeah.
Okay.
So, gave you my way. I should be a meteorologist right now.
Oh my gosh, And let's do some shout outs. So good morning, Tiffany Bryan. First thing on. Good morning, Liza Tuck in the house, and Latina Pottinger. I hope I said it right. Jonathan is in the house. Good morning, Jonathan.
Buenos días, Jonathan. Buenos días, papito lindo.
How about you? Are you doing any more shares, or you still can't do it? I can't do it on my end. It's the weirdest freaking thing. Are you able to do it, or no? Not at all, huh?
Yeah, I can do the watch party.
Oh, you are. See, I don't know why I can't get it to go. What are you hitting that you finally figured out how to do it?
And you go on your phone.
I know I am, but it's just not It's not, I don't know. It's just not. Usually it had like a little button and it said start a watch party, and it doesn't even do that.
It's a little different, right? Yes, I'm with you here. Let me see if I could walk you through it. So I go to the on the Viva page. I don't hit the live that comes up. I scroll down.
No, I was just thinking that. Okay.
I scroll down to where our actual show is, like this. Mira.
Yeah.
And then they got a share button here, and you hit the share button.
Yeah, I gotcha. Oh yeah, yeah. All right. All right. I got it.
Then you got to go up on top and put your own news feed in it, because if not, it'll record right back to the Viva. It'll share it to Viva.
Yeah, it's still only showing it as a post.
Yeah, I don't know why we can't. I don't do the watch party. That I've been sharing it because I couldn't do the watch party.
Oh, okay. Dang, they're always changing their stuff. I mean, they changed that a little while ago, but nonetheless. Okay, so a couple of things I'm so excited about, I have to say, that let's talk coffee for a second, because it is Viva Cafe con Leche. So let's talk a little coffee. I went out because I ran out of coffee. So on Tuesday, I had to have Maxwell House. It was just dreadful. And so I... Oh, we're really okay. There we go. So I went out and got my coffee, and I always just like to get so many different types of coffees. I like flavored coffee, but I like to try different brands. This one, holy crap! I got Godiva, right? So Cafe Godiva.
I love Godiva.
This coffee smells so freaking good that so what I usually do, especially on Monday nights and Wednesday nights, because of the show, I usually get everything put into the pot and like ready to go, so that I just hit the button, because I'm too lazy to program my coffee pot, apparently, which would be even easier. But anyway, I'll pour these grounds in, and it smells like I'm smelling them in the bag, and they're so good. Even that my kids were like, "Oh my God, what is that?" I'm like, "That's the coffee." They're like, "Oh my God, it smells really good." It is so tasty. I'm just blown away at how good this coffee is.
What does it taste like?
It's I can't do it like you do.
I don't want you to. I want you to just think about it. Let it hit your taste buds. That's how
the aroma. Even it's the aroma.
It's what? Chocolate, fruity.
It does. Well, so this one is hazelnut cream. It's not even chocolate necessarily. It's hazelnut cream, and it just has this sweet, but like hard to explain. It's just it makes me very peaceful and happy just smelling it. I'm not that good. I'm not orgasmic on this. I mean, I don't want to go that far, although I may be close. I don't know. I don't know if I've ever got orgasmic with coffee before. I don't remember.
Unchain your soul, girl, because there's an orgasm in everything you do, and I don't know why people shy away from that. There is. Life is orgasmic. You get up in the morning, you get that surge, you stretch, you get a surge, you see somebody, and it makes the butterflies in your, when you see somebody or you hear from somebody and your stomach drops, like, oh my God, I'm full of butterflies. Well, my clit dances. So, it's just how you word it. And
just in time for your daughter to step onto the broadcast during that moment.
Why?
Right when your mother's talking about her clit. But nothing shocks her. I know that.
Nothing shocks her. They get shocked when I don't describe things in such a passionate manner.
So Kimberly Sanchez, you're not feeling well. Oh my goodness.
What? Yes, Kim. How are you today?
She has COVID. So we're going to send you lots of love and light, and hopefully for a speedy recovery. It's such a crapshoot with people. I've known people that have had no symptoms. I know people that have just had like a flu, and I've seen that more than anything. And then I've had people who have had some real challenges with it, So please just rest, and we're glad you're here. Maybe we can make you laugh and make you feel better, and get you better quicker. How's that?
So because I didn't know my baby was on, my beautiful emerald child, Tiffany. Good morning, Tiffany Torres, Tiffany Bryant. You are just as beautiful. Liza, what you're laughing at, Liza? The butterflies in the stomach?
No, the clip.
John.
I'm sure it's the clip
Let me see.
conversation. That's if I know Liza, that's what she's laughing at. So, and good morning, Iritza's on, and everybody's in the house. So let's.
Liza said my clit is hibernating, girl. Mine hasn't seen nothing for over a year now, so we
listen,
might have.
Apparently, Liza, it doesn't have to hibernate if you're drinking really good coffee or you're just living. Apparently.
Or you watch that show on Netflix, Bridgerton or something like that. Has anybody seen that? Ooh, that guy is
my friend
fine.
is watching that. She showed it to me. Holy crap, that is very steamy.
Oh my, and he's just sexy. And I'm like, being a cougar is just like calling me. Like, you know what?
Wait, there's multiple men on that show, isn't there? There's like a whole
the main actor, Simon, the main actor. I really didn't notice anybody else. They all blended in. But yeah, so Kimberly, I hope that you feel better. Extreme joint pain. Get the eucalyptus spearmint. I mean eucalyptus. What's that thing that you soak in?
Epsom salt.
Epsom salt. They have it in spearmint or eucalyptus. Kim, get it. Even if you just soak your feet in hot water with it, because then it'll rise up. Don't forget to put Vicks under your feet and put socks on after you've taken your shower. But if you can soak in the Epsom salt, if you got peppermint essential oils, pour it in there and just soak. I wish I could send you some of my lemongrass, because the lemongrass is really good for inflammation and all that. But there are so many things. Go to CVS and buy the little essential oils and soak in it. Spearmint, eucalyptus, peppermint, and then buy the Epsom salt with lavender in it if you get the oils. If not, get the Epsom salt with eucalyptus and lavender.
Jenna says, what did I just log into?
You logged into me dancing.
COVID,
you know,
we're talking about feeling better from COVID. It's but hey, whatever floats your boat. I'm not a big Vicks fan in that, in an intimate relationship. Getting it in certain places is really not very comfortable. So we're talking specifically in a healing realm, Argenis. That's what we're talking about.
When people tell me, oh, I don't like Vicks, I would never been introduced to Vicks like that. I feel like their childhood was stolen from them. Every time, I am so serious. Every time somebody says something about, oh no, Vicks this and Vicks that, I just want to hug them, because you were cheated out of such a healing process throughout your childhood. Like Vicks, I'm 52. And if I don't feel good, I go to my Vicks, I put it behind my ears, and I get to finish doing what I'm doing. If I'm writing, if I'm doing whatever. And when I don't feel good, yes, I put it under. If I get a zit, I put my Vicks is my go-to for everything. And it does work.
So if you've ever seen My Big Fat Greek Wedding and how her father,
the Windex, yeah,
that's Gladiator Guru's the Vicks. Yeah. I want to tell you a quick funny Vicks story. So we were a big Vicks family too. And my father, when he was little, so back in the day, when you're really little, you take the temperature of the child, through the rectum, because it's just easier that way. Plus it's more accurate. So my grandmother wasn't paying attention, and instead of grabbing the Vaseline, she grabbed the Vicks, and he's like going, oh my God, it really burns. It's uncomfortable. She's going, just be quiet. Stop it. And poor kid. That explains a lot, I would say, from what the way my dad is.
Yeah. But I don't know. I just think Vicks, even if you can buy lemongrass and make it in your soups, I mean, the holistic antidotes to everything we suffer, you can buy at the grocery store.
Yeah, and I mean, I would highly recommend that you go for the better brands, because the Vicks ban is petroleum based, which if you don't want to use petroleum, some people have allergies to that. But it's what it is it's the essential oil ingredients that are within there. I mean, that one's why am I not thinking of it?
But it's eucalyptus, it's peppermint.
No, Vicks isn't eucalyptus. Vicks is oh my God, somebody write it on there. I'm like totally blanking out. It's
peppermint.
No, it's but those are good. Yes, eucalyptus, peppermint, all of those are great. Not just for any type of for inflammation, but also breathing, clearing out the respiratory passages. It's why can't I think of what is inside the main the main ingredient. No, it's not camphor either. No, it's like eucalyptus. What's the other one? It's not eucalyptus though.
There's spearmint, peppermint, eucalyptus. Those are the only let me see.
Oh my God, I'm going to have to look this up, right? That's going to make me look. Well, while you're looking it up, I just want to do a couple of things here. So we have Tasha in the house. So good morning, Tasha. She's going to be on in just a few minutes.
Well, this is Procter and Gamble, and this is why I started making it. Yeah, it's camphor, menthol, eucalyptus.
Menthol. No, that's what I was thinking though. Okay,
it also contains
it. That's good. It has eucalyptus in it, but menthol.
But
that's the word I was looking for.
But this is why I started making it. But I made it with peppermint, eucalyptus. It has cedar leaf oil, nutmeg, petroleum, thymol, and turpentine oil.
Turpentine.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Let's carry on.
So we have Tasha in the house. She's already on. Good morning, Tasha. We're glad that you're here. Let's do some quick shout outs. And then Nancy Green is in the house. Good morning, Nancy. Argenis has already been having conversation with us. So thank you, Argenis. We're happy that you're here. I think we got everybody so far. And one quick shout out. I just decided to wear my nephew. So San Diego Fire Department, I think it's ladder number 145. That's my nephew in San Diego, who's probably not up yet because it's 3 hours earlier, but very proud of my beautiful nephew that he's San Diego FD, wanted that so badly. And he got it. He went for it and he got it. And he's been now, I think, over a year, but nonetheless. And good morning, Anna K. Berry. Good morning, Francia. And one quick thing before we go into our intention and mantra, because I don't want to take away from Tasha. Really quick conversation. How about Amanda Gorman yesterday? If you did not see the inauguration, please I couldn't get enough of it to have to just post her. She is just incredible. That poet. 22 freaking years old, and the poise that she had up there and the way she delivered and the words that she used, we got to follow and support this young woman. I mean, she's incredible. And you said the next.
I love the way I watched it on everybody's new feed.
Yep.
Michelle Pfeiffer, Diane Keaton, all on Instagram. When you put it, but I mean, they actually put the whole video. And I just kept watching it because I just loved her hand movements.
Yes.
That she did while speaking. It was I think the whole show was amazing. My pride with Sonia Sotomayor being up there. When J-Lo came out in that outfit, that white outfit it was just beautiful. She came out gracefully. She exited gracefully. Garth Brooks, one of my favorite countries. There was nothing I can say that I didn't. I love that Garth Brooks fuck it, and he went and said hi to everybody. Where when J-Lo wanted to, the Marine grabbed her, so they just walked up gracefully. But I just thought it was beautiful. But that young lady, I wish her nothing but abundance and success.
Oh my gosh, I do too.
The words she chose were so heartfelt. So yeah, that was a beautiful thing to watch. I was watching it live, and then like I said, everyone's newsfeed I came across that had the video. I just watched it and watched it and watched it.
I felt proud of her like she was my child. I've never experienced that before. Like I'm watching it and I stopped. I had it on so that my little one could, witness it. And I was just like watching her like and I started to get this feeling of like proud, like mama feeling. It was very interesting. But I think to me, what really blew me away was her age. And, for individuals, for all these younger people out there who have a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're passionate about yet, their purpose, they're very lost. To be at 22 and be so sure of herself and so commanding. She needs to be the voice of these younger people because they don't always want to listen to us older folk. But they need to see this. They need to know that, you might not know your passion and purpose just yet, and that's okay. Don't stress about it, but just be proud of who you are. And that's what I got from her, was that she was just so authentically her. And she got up there. She was probably the youngest one there besides people in the audience, but she Didn't matter. She got up, she did what she needed to do. If she was nervous, she didn't notice. And that's what I took from that. It was just this, you said it yesterday when we were having our planning conversation. You said the amount of feminine energy up there on that stage was unbelievable. There was so many women that were commanding and
the FD captain, when she was doing her sign language as she was reciting that, I was like, that's so touching to me. She was so inclusive with everybody. You know, the visual, a woman of color, captain of a fire department. And then she's doing the sign language where she included everybody. I just thought that, yeah, the feminine energy was just floating there in such grace that if you missed it, please go back and watch it. Michelle said that Amanda's book went #1 yesterday.
Yeah, I'm not shocked.
No.
That was it. The minute she did that, I posted as soon as she was done. And I'm like, this is it. This girl is going to be like, that's it. That's all you're going to hear and see over the next X amount of weeks, months, whatever. So good for her. She deserves that. All right. So let's quickly do our intention and our mantra, and then let's get Tasha in the house. So go ahead, my friend. You have the intention for today.
So, mi gente, everybody who's on right now, close your eyes and repeat after me. I will never stop loving myself, no matter what.
I will never stop loving myself, no matter what.
Breathe in the beauty. I will never stop loving myself, no matter what.
I will never stop loving myself, no matter what.
Breathe out the bullshit.
Wonderful. And to go along with today's conversation, the mantra for today is, my mind is sharp and focused. So say that to yourself all day, throughout the day. If you feel a little lost, if you feel a little disconnected, if you feel a little out of focus, if you're stressing, just take a breath in and say, my mind is sharp and focused.
My mind is sharp. I need that. My mind is sharp.
And with that, let us bring in Tasha. Yay! Good morning.
Good morning. Buenos dias.
Your microphone, you have to unmute. They should be.
Sorry.
Oh, it's all right.
Good
No
morning,
worries.
everybody.
Good
Oh
morning.
my God, Tasha, I haven't seen you in years and you look younger. How is that possible?
I don't know because the baby weight is not gone.
Hey, how old the baby? How old is the baby?
He's 4 months old. Thank you. He's doing well.
You had 9 months of carrying it. You're not gonna lose it overnight. I'm still trying to lose the baby weight, and she's 34 years old. So good luck with that.
Well, congratulations to you too.
So good morning, Tasha. So Tasha is she is her own business person, but she also works at a facility. And look at her credentials. So I just put those up. Actually, I didn't have the credentials. Wait, wrong one. Here we go. Show this one. We'll hide that one. So you have a master's degree. You are a certified grief coach, gerontologist, enrichment coach. You're a licensed massage therapist. And what does CDP stand for again?
Certified dementia practitioner.
Okay.
So I'm certified.
And she knows her stuff. She's been working with the aged population for quite some time, specifically with those with dementia. And we were having a conversation, and she was perfect for this because we were just talking about, you were sharing a story with me when we were on the phone.
Yes.
And, we sometimes forget when individuals are, have dementia, especially once they get to a level of dementia, we look at them and say, you know what, they're not the same person anymore, and we treat them differently. And then they become the child, and the children become the parent. And then we have this expectation, so it flip-flops. But the reason we want to have this conversation was the humanness of aging, is the fact that we, as even if your parent doesn't have dementia, or your aunt and uncle or your grandparents, we have a tendency to treat them as children, and that we don't think they're capable of certain things anymore, that they shouldn't do certain things anymore. So we sort of wanted to have that conversation about the idea of we were raised to respect our elders. These beautiful people carry generations of wisdom. It's our right to age with grace and dignity. For individuals suffering from dementia, this may not always be the case. And you mentioned something, we're going to get into all this, about something called the Iceberg Experience, and what your experience has been with balancing between the rights that these individuals have, whether they have dementia or not, and their families, like the balance between the individual and then the family. So go for it, Tasha. Tell us.
Okay, well, I just want to start with something that Maya Angelou said. She said that I have learned that people will not forget what they said. People will not forget what they did. And people will never forget how you made them feel.
I think, wait, you said will not forget. People will forget.
People will forget, yes.
People will forget what you said and
what you said, what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. And I think that that's so essential, yes, as you're talking about the humanness of someone with dementia, especially whether in the community or in a healthcare facility, is that sometimes they're abandoned. And sometimes the families, unfortunately, and it's sad to say, don't even want to have a connection in a sense because they feel so disconnected. Because how can I now relate to my mom or my dad or whomever, right? But on a more personal level. So sometimes I'm able to interject and reteach how to connect because they're still inside. There's also a book out there called I'm Still Inside. I forgot who's the author of that book, but you can look it up and see. The wisdom and the knowledge that they learned over the years is still embedded deep down. So I'll jump to the iceberg real quick because Sigmund Freud, actually, in psychology, if you ever, looked into him or heard of him, he's the one who developed the iceberg. But technically, when you take the iceberg and you look at it on a more personable level, what you see on the tip of the iceberg, the 10%, is what everyone knows. That's what they see. But the 90% of all the crap and everything else is underneath the iceberg. So it's like when someone comes in, you want to evaluate, okay, I see this person in front of me, but what are the underlying issues of this individual? What's the history with this individual? What can help me to make this individual on a personable level be successful in this environment, or whether outside in the community or even in their home? So there's lots of facets involved in that, but it's interesting because I have little notes here too. So your fears, things that are like unacceptable behavior, sexuality, desires, shameful desires, things that maybe they wouldn't have done before because they were more cognizant of it.
Yes.
Now it plays out because that filter is no longer there in their head to say, okay, this is inappropriate. So they will begin to have certain behaviors, which comes with certain dementias. So the important thing to know is that dementia is just a symptom. The dementia is just a symptom of the forgetfulness and all of that. But it's the umbrella of what encompasses all the other dementias underneath the umbrella, such as Alzheimer's disease, Lewy body, frontal lobe dementia, vascular dementia. And the most common ones are Alzheimer and vascular dementia.
Right.
And that can even be created through accidents or TBIs, traumatic brain injuries. They tend to have and mimic those same behaviors. You have irreversible ones and then the dementias that are not reversible. So something that would be irreversible is delirium. There's a possibility you might have a UTI, a fever, or something that's making you like not coherent at that time, but in time with medications and antibiotics and such, you will come back to normalcy. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then that's actually, you brought up a good point, because so Gladiator Guru is taking care of her mother. She takes care of her full time. Her mother has dementia. My dad has dementia, although my dad is very functional still. But Gladiator Guru's mom is very dependent on her, like very dependent on her. And she knows her so well that, right, there was a couple times where there was some very big shifts in her cognition. And that's what you said. You said I think she has a UTI. I think because she's seen it before. And a lot of people, unless you've been around individuals who, deal with this, people have no idea how those little things, bacterial infections to the urinary tract system, can alter an individual's
who's already altered.
Exactly.
So it increases behavior, potential fall risks,
right.
More confusion than usual. And it's like, what is going on? Right? Yeah. What the hell is going on? What? And then sometimes the fear arises in the caregiver to say, oh my gosh, it declined so fast. But my job when I work in the healthcare field is to identify, okay, what changed? Is she not drinking enough fluids? Okay, let's check the medications. If she's on a new medication, did she change a medication? Did they add a medication? Because all of those things can even add to increased delirium in that same individual and cause more confusion, unfortunately. So it's like, okay, maybe they're doing a new behavior, but it's not the dementia that they already have previously. It's whatever's acting up in their body.
Yes.
Even pain. Pain is another thing that can cause someone with memory care to exhibit behaviors that are not usual, because they're not able to tell you it hurts. They're not able to tell you it's their mouth or their head, or sometimes they're just holding their head. And you know that that's something new. Miss Sue is always holding her head. Why is she doing that? So you have to really meet that person. It's person-centered. And you have to know what that person is like. And the best source you can get that person from is the caregiver, if they're coming into a facility, or just observing that person based off of the intake sheet or whatever you get. But sometimes that doesn't even dig beyond the barriers, the iceberg, right? So it doesn't tell you that maybe, and I'm going to go a little deep if that's okay, they were molested. Maybe they were abused when they were young. Maybe there's some other psychological indicators that now they were able to handle through therapy and things like that in their life. But now their mind, because of where they remember with memory care, you go backwards. So now those things that were once probably taken care of or able to be managed are now non-manageable, because now I'm having nightmares. Now I'm looking for my baby. Now my child is a baby. And so where is my baby? Where is my son? And your son probably died. Your baby probably is not even alive right now, unfortunately. Or it was a term, I forgot what the proper word for it is in the DSM-5, but there's a word that when you go back, when it's like seasons. When a certain season comes, you kind of get more depressed or oppressed, or your whole
affective disorder you're talking about?
Something like that. But it affects people with memory care also, because if they were more depressed in fall, winter, or when there's a gloomy day and you don't know that, now they're off, they're not eating. Why are they not eating? Why are they not hydrating? Why don't they want anything? What is that missing piece? So sometimes families can identify some things in the past that will help us in the future with working with that person, and then creating a positive working environment for them where they feel safe at all times, where they're protected, and then where they can actually feel like they're doing something and they have a self-worth in whatever ability that they have. So from high functioning dementia to low functioning dementia, there's always something out there that you can do for that person.
Well, let's talk about that for a second, because so let's say you have the person in your facility and you've gotten to know the person, you've gotten to know them with the dementia. And then the family members come in, and because that, I found it really interesting when we were on the phone that, we have an expectation, unfortunately, of our parents, because again, like you said, that they were a certain way and they had that filter. And then when the filter's gone, they can exhibit behaviors that we feel are unacceptable because it is, not societally accepted or accepted because of us, our own beliefs.
Right.
And how difficult is it to manage that? Like when listen, if you're not aware of it out there, tribe, nursing homes are a hotbed of sexual activity. They can be.
Hypersexuality, yes.
These are adults. They are. They're elderly, but that doesn't mean that they are. They lose the feeling to do what they want to do, and so it's not uncommon. And some of it is consensual in the sense that they are very cognizant of what they're doing, and other times
what they're feeling.
They're not. And they're, even with that, they still have an element where they have to allow it because they are still adults. And then we come in, and I say that we collectively as the children and the grandchildren and the nieces and nephews, and be like, how are you letting
I'm so embarrassed. Why did you allow my mom to do that? And I said, okay, let's go into the office. Let's have a conversation. So that's when I give resources. I tell them to come to support groups, because sometimes the support groups, every person, even though there's a different face in the room, are able to be more relatable, to say, oh, well, wow, this happened. How did you take care of this? Or this happened. How did you do that? So we have a conversation, and then we make interventions in small increments. So in the facility, what I would usually do is I meet with the nursing team, and then we try to do a huddle, basically, to say, okay, all right, Mr. Joe, he's just masturbating down the hallway. Is there a way that we could get him to be redirected so it could be more personalized? So even though he's having this feeling, what can we do to support him? And we care plan what we're going to do. And we test it for about a month to see if the behavior is going to change. Because you can make and break a habit in 21 days. That's factual, that we found, and I've learned that through the Alzheimer's Association, going to conferences, is that's how you can actually, it's not that they're relearning something, but when you meet the person where they are, to the heart of the matter, and you have that heart connection, you can actually retrain someone to do something and to break a habit in 21 days, or to gain a positive habit in 21 days. So you test it for about a month to see if this is going to be successful.
I agree.
Yes. So what I have done is, in the past, like I said, we do the huddle, we do the care plan, and then we implement. We talk to the frontliners. The frontliners would be all the other essential caregivers, the CNAs, or whatever they're called. There's so many names depending on what industry you're working into. And even dining staff. How important is that? That if you see something happening, we have to work with individuals with dignity. You have to dignify the individual at all times. You cannot make them feel like, or startle them. Because, okay, imagine I'm walking down the hall, I'm masturbating, and now I startle you, and you're like, oh, geez, he may fall. You have to think about safety. All you need to do is redirect the individual, bring him into a safe place. If his room is not close, you bring him into, we usually have like little lounges or something where someone else is not. And then you meet the person where they are. And the sad thing is, yes, and I'm going to be blunt on this station. His penis may be out.
We are all about blunt.
Nastiness is going on right now. So you want to also make sure that you're protected. Maybe you'll ask someone you'll call on the walkie, please bring me some gloves, or bring me a towel or a blanket or something. And so we're going to bring Joe Smith back to his room, get him cleaned up. And he said, oh, what the hell happened? I'm like, oh, well,
yeah.
You had a little accident. You had an accident, but that's okay. And then we'll learn how to sit with him to understand, because at first he's probably, you don't want to startle, like I said, but sometimes they do. Another behavior is peeing in the plant. So I say, I don't want plants in my neighborhoods. Don't put them on my floor. They're pretty and everything, but a man sees a plant in the corner in the hallway, he's going to urinate there.
He's marking his territory.
Outdoor. He's marking his territory.
Yes.
He's treading his ground. And these are real life issues that happen in facilities and maybe at home. And it's like, I don't understand. I can't even have a plant, but it's not about you. It's about dignifying the resident, dignifying the human person that is there. Because when you go up to them, they're like, oh, I thought that was the John. They don't know. So it's like you redirect. There's cues that we use in some memory neighborhoods. I like assisted living a lot because we are able to enhance and we have the monetary support to kind of support more. So we make memory boxes so that they can identify their rooms. We put pictures of them or of their wife or of loved ones, their daughters. So when they go, they're like, oh, okay, this is on my wall. This is my room. Or you might put their name there. If you don't want someone to enter, you might put a little stop sign on the door, because if they're a habit to go into their room and then they're a hoarder. Okay, so you always have to clean drawers out. They'll take the knives and the forks and the bananas and the apples, and then next time you know, oh, what in the world is in this room stinking it up? So there's ways to support them under the level, under the table, in a sense, where they're still dignified, where they're still oblivious to what's going on. Because in that moment, if you make that individual feel afraid, scared, flustered, they may not interact with you again because they don't forget your face. It's amazing the connectivity that they can have with you, even if you're new to them. So they might, oh, I remember you. So they're not going to remember your name, and that's fine. They might remember a fragrance that you smell. That's why we also, when I'm training staff, I tell them, try not to wear something too heavy. Try to be a little bit light. We have to be even sensitive to people's allergies and things like that. So we have to be very mindful with all those things and have a mindful perspective when we're entering their homes. Because now they're coming out of their homes to this place and you want them to feel as home-like as possible. Another thing that I encourage families to do, and then I'll move to their own home settings, is bring something that's personable to them. Their blankets. If they had doll babies, I don't care. I don't care how someone will walk in here and say, oh, why? Well, this is so childlike. I don't understand this. It's a need because those are their babies. They take care of them. Stuffed animals. They're not allowed to. Some places allow you to have an animal, even in memory care, that they could still take care of, but it depends on their functioning level, if they can still be able to.
You're talking about a real animal?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
In assisted living, some assisted livings allow persons with memory care, if they had a dog or a cat or something like that, that they could still have them live. That's like the buy-in, right? Oh, the animal can come, so you can come. So it's okay. It's not like you have to cut that off. But what I found in even being an engagement specialist is that some websites have basically animals that are so humanistic now that even if they can no longer take care of the real animal, once you give them this pet, it has some movement to it. It really looks real. And then we have safety blankets that we can rest on someone for lower functioning people that wants that comfort. They're like weight blankets. They're not heavy as to say, but when it's on you, you feel like you're being cuddled. You feel comfortable, and they have scents of lavender. I like, well, you were talking about aromatherapy. Margarita. I was like, I don't want to call it.
No. It's Margarita. Margarita, yes.
Margarita.
But yes, my mom was diagnosed 3 years ago with schizophrenia, dementia, sprinkled with manipulation.
Okay.
My mom is a domestic violence survivor, a lot of head trauma. She suffered as we were children, scars and all of that. Always been, then we learned later on that there was sexual trauma in her early teens.
So that's digging under the iceberg. So
Yes.
you're learning underneath.
And I had my whole childhood with her, and you study them, and as you get older, it's still the same behavior, very needy, very wanting love from a man, so everything else didn't matter, even her children. So that's where the sprinkled manipulation comes in, because she does have her lucid moments. But yes, she'll be uncomfortable in the recliner, and I'm like, Mom, straighten up. Your back is gonna hurt. She was like, can't, the baby's sleeping.
Right.
So now
you probably know through experience with dealing with your mom. So if that happened in a community and a daughter came up and was like, this is new, what baby? What is she talking about? And I'm like, come here. And I'm like, come here. Because they listen to you.
Yeah, they do.
They are there. So they're like, what the hell are you talking about? My baby's right here.
Yes.
So you contest with them. You can actually rile them up. And like I said, you build up this anxiety in them. If they have a dual diagnosis with the dementia or some type of mental health, you also have to be mindful of that you don't, in the moment, trigger them to then have their behaviors even heightened at that time. But you'll say, okay, Mom, I see that the baby is there. That's okay. Let me just shift the baby over a little bit. Can I put the baby in your lap? And that's really making it individualized. And you're not saying, Mom, there's no baby. You're saying, okay, Mom, I see the baby. That's okay. I want to pick the baby up and put her in your lap so that you can rest your back and be more comfortable, because I don't want you achy later. I don't want you in pains later.
Well, she's Italian, I'm Puerto Rican and Italian, and so we speak, we're trilingual. My mom is very fluent in Spanish. So we were raised with someone who taught us to be trilingual. So we're English, Spanish, and profanity, 100% on each. So I'm like, so why is the fucking baby pushing you over on the recliner? She goes, I don't know, but my back hurts. So I'm like, well, let me put her over here. She's like, yeah, take her.
Yeah.
So she laughs,
Yeah.
So when she wakes up in mood sometimes, so I'll put the YouTube videos and I'll start dancing, and then I'll flash her my boobs and shit, because that's how we get along in this house. And she'll laugh, and then she's okay, and sometimes she'll fight me. She doesn't. When my niece irritates her on purpose, she's like very strong, and she'll dig her nails in you.
Yeah.
And then she'll laugh. But for the most part, she does get sad. And that's when I'll put her favorite ranchera music on. She loves this.
And it brings her, it uplifts
her.
Mm-hmm.
And then so I'll play some music from my youth, and she's like, oh, that's so-and-so. And she names him quick. And then she'll just sit there in a day. Yes. So that's what I do. Do we argue? We argue, fuss, and laugh in this house. Yeah, she aggravates me when she purposely does something, like when I give her the toothbrush as I'm changing her diaper for the night. And I'm like, all right, Mom, put your teeth in here and I'll brush your mouth. And then she'll wet it. I said, don't wet it no more. So she'll go to put it in her mouth. So when she thinks that I'm in the back of her putting her lotion, she runs it under the thing. So when I pretend I'm making a move to come back to the front, she pulls it real quick. So I'm like, Mom, I saw you. Stop wetting it. Brush your damn teeth already. And she'll start laughing. Or sometimes I'm like, Mom, you're not doing it right. Let me do it. And she'll grab it, because my mom's always been strong. She's like, get the fuck out of here. So I'm like, then do it right, or I'm going to do it for you. And then she'll start doing it. But it's just, you know what? We know each other. We're familiar with each other. I don't allow them to prescribe her any medication. She was on Depakote, which poisoned her. She was toxic, unresponsive twice. Because of the second unresponsiveness due to the poisoning of Depakote, she walks on her tippy toes now.
Oh yeah.
And she has no balance. So she went from being able to get up and walk with just me like guiding her, to her getting up walking with the walker, to me now transferring her.
Shuffle when she's on her toes?
She has no balance. No, I have to either hold her. I hold her a certain way where my left hand is across her chest holding her left hand, and then my right is holding her right. So like that, she'll be on it. She's a horrible fallerist. She's fallen several times. I have that little thing that beeps now because she tries to get out of the bed.
Have you thought about getting if you don't mind, have you thought about getting like a little like type of mat, maybe like an exercise mat or something, just like not to put it like in her forefront, but sometimes and then get it in I'll sidebar. I'll tell you the colors to get it in, because sometimes even visual would help them, and because it's there, she won't get up.
What side would I have the mat that if she gets up it beeps? Is that what
So
you're talking about?
that's okay. No, that's a pad. So that's
And I have her hospital bed. Yeah.
All right. So that's a pad to so these are things that we use in the community. So if I had a resident that's a fall risk, I might get something black at nighttime, a mat that's black, and I put it by the bedsides. So now when I get up and I turn my light on, I want to go to the bathroom because I don't remember to ring my call light. I look down. Holy crap! I'm not going there. That's a hole.
Oh.
So you're tricking the mind to say I can't get up. So they're either going to say help, help, and someone will pass by when they're doing their checks, and they'll be able to go in and help the person if they can't remember to get the call light. And then, of course, we always remind them to press that button right there. Help will come and take you to the bathroom. We'll move that mat, walk them to the bathroom, and walk them back. But it's kind of like a deceiver. So then we have less falls. And then you tuck it in the morning time because they are more than capable of getting up and down. But if you want to kind of decrease the fall risk, there's little tricks that you can do even in your house to make it dementia proof. In a sense, you call it.
Yeah, it is. I'm the fucking proof of not falling. Like I'm her 24-hour caregiver. She don't turn on the light. She has immaculate degenerative disease, so it's not like she sees much. It's just like I have to put, I don't know why in Florida they don't do the hospital beds with the whole rails, only the top, which is bullshit. So I have to put the wheelchair on the bottom so she can't swing her legs off. So she'll reach for the wheelchair and I lock it so you hear it banging. So that prevents her.
The short bar that can only help you pull up.
Yeah.
That's actually a new regulation because people have been, they do it here in Connecticut too. In facilities, you can't have full bed rails.
Yeah, that's what they told me.
It's considered a restraint. And sometimes some residents, you'll be shocked. How did they get their leg in there? How did they get stuck? Then they end up getting cuts and things like that. And skin care and all of that. So that's why they do the short bar instead, so it can decrease the person from getting hurt.
Well, I agree with a lot of things you said. I'm not going to put her in a facility. She was there for 3 weeks on rehab, and I almost got arrested because I was going to fuck all the bitches up. My mother's here, never been washed for the 3 weeks she was there. She had ulcerated
heels, bottom,
both. She went in there with none. I spoke to the director, the head nurse, all of them. And I said, my mom's going in there per the hospital. She has no pressure wounds. The hospital sent you pictures of her body. I want to pick her up in the same condition. Oh, yes, oh, yes, oh, yes. Well, she wasn't.
Well, I could relate because I took care of my grandmother for about 5 years. But in her last couple of years, she just died, not this December, but the past December. And in the end, she was having some memory issues, and she kept getting reoccurrent UTIs that would cause her to go ballistic. So I was also a 24-hour week. Have you? I want to also. Can I make another recommendation? Is it too early? I want to recommend this book. It's called The 36-Hour Day, because for caregivers home, it's not 24 hours. No. You are round the clock continuously unless you have someone that can give you a break. And I want to encourage you, Margarita, and I know as a coach and you able to do mindfulness and things like that, to also self-care is number one. Because if you don't take care of you, you're not going to be able to take care of mom. So try to implement some ways that you can actually be able to have some you time so you're not consumed, because even though you don't want to, it can bring agitation on you. But then,
I am an expert caregiver, and I say that with all the confidence in the world. Yes, I do have me time. I sit and talk shit with Lori aside from our conference calls. I am a co-host to Justa Tu Corona, which is a women empowerment brunch thing that we do. I'm a writer. I'm a canvas artist. So I'm always doing things.
Okay.
Plus, and I say this because I took, for 5.5 years, I was the sole caregiver to my husband with ALS until his last breath.
Okay.
So my mom has no pressure wounds on her. Her UTIs have been far few in between. I make sure she stays hydrated. We make a game out of it. So every time she says something or I guess something, she takes a sip.
Right.
Other times I'm like, drink your fucking water already, lady. And she cracks up and she drinks it. But yeah, so I totally agree with you. I am actually
I'm going to interject though, on behalf of Gladiator Guru as her friend, that she does practice self-care. She knows this. However, though, there are moments though, like you need to disconnect and get away
from
and
that environment.
One piece that she does not get to do that often because she cannot leave her mom for extended periods of time, even short periods of time. And because she doesn't really have, that's what I wish for her. I wish that she could at least get some sort of care so that she can escape for 1 to 2 hours per day, even if it was like 3 days a week, so she could go for a walk or do something, because
that's what I'm talking about.
I right now I don't have that in place. So I was sharing for anyone else in the situation that you can mentally escape into doing something, a hobby that you have passion for.
Sure. Right.
Pretty soon, like hospice, my mom's on hospice. They offer me 5 nights and 6 days a month of respite, where they will pick her up, take her to their facility, and on the 6th morning they'll drop her back off.
Oh, that's good.
And they also offer me 3 days a week of somebody to come bathe her, like for 2 or 3 hours, bathe her or sit with her, do whatever. So I'm in the middle of painting her room and fixing it all up
so that that
can start. So I have it in way. Plus, I'm almost done with signing up because I am going to be having a podcast for caregivers.
Okay.
Very blunt, very real. It's going to be, it's going to be a tree where you can speak your truth and how you feel, because a lot of people feel bad saying that they're frustrated or, they feel that they have to have this facade of the perfect caregiver. You know what? Go crazy, scream out loud, sing out loud. And people,
they need that outlet, and that's why we provide support groups. And in my support groups, or the support groups that I have ran in the past, I'm like, you could be as candid as you want to be, because if you don't speak, no one's going to know. And someone else is probably going through that same issue that you're going through. And once you open up your mouth, you will be able now to get some sort of support. And that's very important. I have to be honest too. When hospice came in, I did my internship with hospice. So I knew as a social worker, when I go into the family, all right, do you eventually need someone to come in 1 to 2 hours, at least 2 or 3 times a week? Oh, no, I don't want it. Or, no, I'm not ready. And that was from the side of the clinician. Now on the other side of the caregiver, I'm saying, oh, no, I don't want it. I don't need it. I know how to best take care of my grandmother. I know how to best do this. I know how to best do that. And then when they started to come, I'm like, is everything okay? Like, even though I set up, I set everything up and everything like that. And they're like, this is your time. Like, go somewhere, like go for a walk. And it was hard to actually break away just for the hour that I got to leave her. But then it kind of felt good after to say, I really needed this fresh breath of air. So it's to be very transparent with yourself, honest with yourself, that you do need that time. And
doing that, when you do that and you practice self-care, because the whole point too with the conversation today is the fact that, these are individuals, they're older, they might not be the person that they used to be, but we still have to respect that. And sometimes that means is to pull yourself away from that and take a moment for yourself. So for instance, individuals who are in a facility and the child walks in, the adult child walks in and says, oh my God, why is my mother doing that? Or why are you letting my father do that? It's like, okay, you have to understand that they are an adult. that they were adulting long before you were ever an adult, and we have to have a certain amount of respect for them. And the way that you could play into that is taking a moment for yourself to think about who you are and what you would want when you were in that facility, taking time for you and honoring yourself with self-care, honoring yourself, which brings out the compassion in the individual, which allows you to spread the compassion to your parent or aunt or uncle or grandparent that is in the facility or at home even. I mean, we're just saying it within a facility, but it's
even home. Exactly. The
home,
same
right.
principles really do apply. And what I encourage people to do as an enrichment specialist too is to create things that your loved one likes. Margarita, I love when you say you put the music on that she likes and she starts dancing. And to be able to just get wacky the way you know how to get wacky with her, that she can be stimulated in that sense. And sometimes those tips that for whoever's coming inside the home now to give you the relief, it's good to let them know about it too as well, because if that moment comes, they could dress the part without failure. Because if I don't know, it's setting me up as the helper to support you the best way that I can and keep her in alignment.
Yes, let me tell you something. Nobody pops up at my house. No nurse will call me and says, "Oh, I'm on my way." Oh, no, you're not. Because no one just I don't care who you are. My house is to be respected, and the way I take care of mom on certain days and every other day. So I need an advance, 24 hours advance that you're coming into my house. I don't care who you are. The doctor, I had to tell him the other day because they make house visits. Oh, I'm in the air. I'm going to come. Oh, I'm sorry. No, you're not. You want to come tomorrow? So they already know me. They know me from when my husband, I don't play that shit. I don't care what's your title. You're not going to bombard my house and break up my routine. But
no, I'm not saying to bombard.
No. I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I let everybody know when they come in. I even let them know certain things because this is my domain. And I know how to run it. And you might be a nurse or a doctor or a even the social worker even comes here and chills. Yeah, but back to what you're saying. Yes, you have to learn and have the compassion to do this. I did it my whole marriage, because I wasn't even married a year when he was diagnosed with ALS. So my whole marriage was me being a nurse and not a wife. So then not even he died in March and my mom got sick in December. So I became a caregiver again. Yeah. So I'm in the middle of finishing actually a book that I'm writing, that I started writing when my husband, after I wrote my husband's book. It's a caregiver's guide full of wonders, hot flashes, smiles, and fucks. And so that would give you, like, it has tidbits, like when you're just feeling so frustrated, you just want to cry and rip out of your skin, because that happens. When I was taking care of my husband and taking him showers and he was always cold and I was suffering premenopause, I wanted to rip out of my skin. So I give things on or like anything that can happen or what you can feel. So I believe what you're saying is true. I believe they come first, but also I come first to me. And then I take care of you to the best of my capacity, because if I'm not taking care of me, I can't take care of you. That's right. Mind, body, and soul. So we got to keep it real. To take care of somebody, you must take care of yourself first.
Exactly.
Well, we are at the end of our broadcast today, so we thank everybody for staying on a few extra minutes. And Tasha, it's been really fabulous. I'm going to put this back on again. So
this is great. Yeah.
Tasha is a coach as well. And for those of you that might also feel, I mean, this would be great for you, especially if you are taking care of somebody, or if even whether it's full-time or part-time, and you are losing yourself and you need to learn how to practice self-love. I'm sure that Tasha would be really great to work with for this particular piece as well, not just general coaching, but especially that piece, because she can add, her training at working with individuals that have dementia and, with her background. So definitely reach out to her, give her a call, follow her on Facebook, and we definitely encourage it. And Tasha, thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, you guys.
No, thank you.
We'll have you again. I mean, we definitely could have you again because we like to talk about caregiving, and we like to talk about that because our population mostly are, middle-aged and up women, and we find ourselves in those positions. So this is very good conversation.
It is. And also when you should not continue to be a caregiver, when other options have to be, because
implemented. That's important.
It takes a toll. And my cousin wrote how they need you. They're in Bridgeport, and her dad is going through hallucinations and getting up and urinating. Totally not in the toilet.
Right.
So, I'm just saying there's a training for you to be the best caregiver possible, and there should be a training for you to wean yourself out of caregiving.
That's a good point.
And that has to be implemented, because then we're riddled with guilt. We feel shameful that we can't take care of our parents, but we don't want to put them in a nursing home. And there needs to be a support group on how it's okay. And that's what I'm writing in this book, how it's okay to feel what you're feeling.
And to have that transition is very important to realize when enough is enough, and you can step aside and allow extra help. And then you can now be the daughter again. You can now be the loved one that comes to visit, and you're not daunted with the responsibilities of the whole 36-hour day.
Exactly. I'm gonna read that book. But
it's by Nancy L. Mace, M-A-C-E, and Robert and Robbins.
And Robbins. It's so funny because on one of the topics because I've been writing topics for real quick, I know we got to go for my podcast on caregivers. One of them is when to know to take off the cap and save a whole cape. Because sometimes it's not even that we're leaving the person, it's how we're feeling. Oh, but I can't do this. I'm supposed to take care of this. So it's a lot of stuff. But no, thank you so much, because there was a lot of feedback on the comments. Thank you, Lori, for responding to them.
Oh, thank you, Lori, because I can.
Yeah, regarding this.
In fact, we encourage you, Tasha, to go back to the feed and you can respond to people after the broadcast when you get a chance, especially if they're asking for information and things like that.
They can contact me, and my phone number is actually in my information when you go onto my business site, and so you can call me and I can set up some time with you.
Okay, fabulous, fantastic, great. Okay, and then on so Tuesday's show, we're going to start a two-part conversation on walking in solitude. We're going to talk about what it means to literally and figuratively walk in solitude, go within yourself, just taking that deep dive and then exploring your world by yourself. So it's going to be a great conversation, part one on Tuesday and part two with our guest who does this regularly and teaches you how to walk in solitude, walk by yourself, hiking, vacationing, all sorts of things.
Enrichment. Enrichment.
Yes.
It's important.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I walked for a month and a half after my husband died in Spain. It was the best gift that God and myself could have granted. The best, it changed me completely. So yeah, it is. I can't wait to have that conversation.
So thank you everybody for coming on. And Tiffany Bryan said this has been so helpful, and we know Tiffany is also a caregiver, so this has been really helpful. Tasha, thank you so much for coming on. And Guru, do you have anything last minute to say before we do our sign off?
No, thank you, Tasha. Thank you for the book information. So this looks
so
and I'll let you know.
Everybody, and have a great weekend. Have a great weekend, everyone. And remember, be you, be real, be extraordinary.
Mi gente, thank you for coming on today. Remember, breathe in the beauty and breathe out the bullshit.